Dear students, good morning. Last day we conducted a discussion in our social science group, and there you shared your doubts, and also you preferred for a video class, and I think this will help you to clear your all doubts. I will give you the important points only about the first lesson. Our first lesson is about revolutions, revolutions that influenced the world, revolutions which happened different parts of the world, in different countries, in different continents. And because of that revolution, that stimulated all other nations and it influenced all the countries. In this lesson, the first topic is about American Revolution. American Revolution is American War of Independence. It is also known as American War of Independence. It was a war for independence. But after that war, American War of Independence is known as American Revolution. So we must know what is the difference between a war and a revolution. A war is a struggle, an agitation for gaining or achieving something. But a revolution, totally changing the existing system, and a new system is coming. That is the difference between a war and a revolution. Because of a revolution, the existing system is changing and a new one is coming. That is why the American War of Independence is also known as American Revolution. From that we know after the war, the system was changed in America. Before we studying about American Revolution, we must we must know a slogan prepared by a famous thinker, James Otis. Do you know what is that slogan? Yes, that slogan is no taxation without representation. In that slogan, what was the demand of people? In that slogan, we can clear that, we know that they need representation in administration, even though they are giving taxes. That is the plight of the common people in North America. They are giving different type of taxes and they have no any type of participation in administration. For that we must know what was the situation of North America. From 16th century onwards, from European countries, from different parts of European countries, people migrated to North America for exploiting the resources of North America. And they established 13 colonies there. I think you know the names of 13 colonies. I'm not ready to ask you about 13 colonies. It is already cleared. And they established that 13 colonies. England made that 13 colonies as their trading center. These all American 13 colonies become the power of England. Englishers came in 13 colonies, and they collected all the resources from there and they sell their product there. So totally that 13 colonies were changed as a trading center of England. And also England implemented a law there, law based on trade. That law, that also I think you know, what was that law? Mercantilist law. According to that law, some rules and regulations, some laws were implemented there. According to that law, the colonial people must sell their product only to England. They must give taxes to, especially import tax to tea, glasses, paper, etc. These 13 colonies must affix the emblem of England, all their pamphlets, newspaper, etc. These were the important mercantilist laws. Because of that law, the people of 13 colonies suffered very much. And even though they are giving different type of taxes, they have no any type of participation in administration. That is why all these colonies except Georgia met in Philadelphia, and that event was known as First Continental Congress. Before that, there was another event. I think you remember that event. That event is Boston Tea Party. They must give import tax for tea. That is why they entered into the ship, and most of all tea boxes were thrown into the Boston Harbor. That event was known as Boston Tea Party. That was against that law, that import tax, against that import tax. Before this, what they did, they met in Philadelphia. That was in 1774. All 13 colonies except Georgia, and they submitted a petition to the King of England. In that petition, they demanded that the rules and regulations based on trade and commerce imposed to colonies must be take off. That was the demand. But the ruler of England, the King of England, sent a big army to suppress the colonial people, and that first American Continental Congress was failed. Again in next year, Second Continental Congress was happened in 1775, and they submitted a pamphlet to the King of England that their struggle started. Through a pamphlet called Common Sense, Thomas Paine declared that it was wise to America break the tie over British. And also other leaders were stimulated the people of American colonies. Mainly, I think you know who were they? Thomas Paine and John Locke. What John Locke said, it is not wise. Thomas Paine, what he said, it is not possible for a continent to govern by a foreign power. Here the continent means America, governed by a foreign power. Here foreign power is England. And what John Locke said, all human beings have some right, and no government have the right to suspend the human rights. And this type of thinkers, writers, stimulated the people of North American colony, and they began to start war against England. And in the Second Continental Congress, the people of 13 colonies selected George Washington as their commander-in-chief of their army to struggle against the British army. And at the same time, they selected George Washington as their leader. And from 1776 onwards, in 1776, a Declaration of Independence was prepared, and from 1776 onwards, the war was started, and the war was ended in 1781 under the leadership of Commander-in-Chief George Washington. According to Treaty of Paris in 1783, England was ready to give freedom for these all 13 colonies, and George Washington became the first president of America. And one more thing, one most important thing was happened. A written constitution was formed. That written constitution was framed by James Madison, and it was the first written constitution in the world, American Constitution. These all are the main points about the American Revolution. You remember that slogan, no taxation without representation, and its explanation. Second one is about mercantilist law and which are that laws. Third one is the events based on the American War of Independence. Events means Boston Tea Party, First Continental Congress, Second Continental Congress. Next one is the leaders helped for the struggle, the strike, War of Independence. Who were they? Thomas Paine, James Otis, John Locke, etc., and their cuttings. First and Second Continental Congress, Declaration of Independence, first Constitution was formed, George Washington became the President of America. These are the main points based on American Revolution. I think you clear all your doubts. Okay. Our first topic, American War of Independence, was a struggle against their colonial power. Common people led war against colonial power. But the second topic is about French Revolution. In French Revolution, the common people led war against their rulers, against their ruling authorities. In 17th century, France was ruled by Bourbon kings. They were very squandrous, autocratic rulers, and they believed that their power is divine and God have the only the power to question them. And they didn't bother about the life of common people. And the rulers, and nobles, and clergies were led a luxurious life. At the same time, the common people lived in a very difficult condition, very pathetic condition. And the common people started war for equality, liberty, and fraternity. That was French Revolution against rulers. There was a quotation, a statement you can see in your textbook. In France, at that time in France, 1/10 of people was died because of indigestion, and 9/10 of people died because of starvation. From that statement, we know what was the condition of France at that time. A minority people are leading very luxurious life, and majority led very pathetic life, very crucial life. That was the system existed in France in that period. And all the rulers, they believed their power is given by God, and they mocked the people. They didn't give any care to the people. That was the system. And before that, we must know in that period what was the condition of society. The society was divided into three stages. That three stages is given in your textbook as a chart. I think you read it. First and second estate, they possessed so much of vast area of land. They have position in administration. They are the higher officials in administration. These type of people are exempted from all type of taxes. And at the same time, the majority people, that people was included in third estate, commons, and they must give different type of taxes both to the government, both to the clergies and nobles, and they have no any type of position in administration. They are no they have no any power in higher level. They have no any type of vast areas. That was the system, that was the situation. And you can clear, I think you can clear it by looking that chart in your textbook. What was the condition? What was the system of French society at that time? First estate, second estate, and third estate. First and second have all the power, and third estate have any power. That was the system. And at that period, they suffered very much, and the rulers faced a type of bankruptcy because of their squandered life, luxurious life. They spent all their money for their luxurious life, and at the same time they helped America at the time of American War of Independence. And there they faced a type of bankruptcy. That is why the rulers decided to collect another type of taxes from the commons. And for deciding this, the ruler summoned a meeting. The state general was called, and they want to decide there how to collect new type of taxes. At that time, commons demanded for this individual voting system. I think you know the French society was divided into three estates. Like that, French state general was also divided into three groups. Clergies, nobles are in one group, commons are in another group. And group wise voting system, if the group wise voting system is existing there, the majority vote is for clergies and nobles. That is why the commons demanded for individual voting system. Individual voting system, if it is came under process, what will happen? For each individual, the commons get one vote, and the majority was commons. That is why they demand for individual voting system, and they assembled in nearby tennis court, and they swore there, without framing a constitution for France, we will not go back, and we will not ready to give this new type of taxes. There, French Revolution started, and so much thinkers, writers influenced them, mainly Rousseau, Voltaire, and Montesquieu. Their ideologies were given in your textbook. Just listen it, and uh, they're given the events, what happened. That events is given in your textbook itself. One by one you must look all these events. What is these events, what happened in first event is that was happened in 14th July 1789. It was the demolishing of Bastille prison. This Bastille prison was considered as their symbol of a Bourbon dynasty, and the revolutionaries started their slogan liberty, equality, and fraternity, and demolished the Bastille prison. It was the first event after tennis court oath. First event is tennis court oath. For that, they demanded a written constitution for France, which is helpful for commons. Second one, that was in 14th July 1789. It was the demolishing of Bastille prison. Third one is the National Assembly passed the Declaration of the Rights for Human Beings. It was also in 1789 August, and in 1789 October, thousands of women marched to Paris. Paris was the center of Bourbon dynasty, and they asked for food. These are the main events. And in 1792, the National Convention formed as per the new constitution, and they proclaimed France as a republic. It is proclaimed France as a republic in 1792. Their struggle started in 1789, and thus France was become framed, become a republic, and they got a written constitution too, framed constitution too. That was a French Revolution. After that, France was ruled by Napoleon. Napoleon Bonaparte. Actually, he captured the power of France from other European countries. When after the French Revolution, French became free, France became republic, and other European countries afraid that when France became republic, when France got a framed administration, framed system, it will spread other European countries, and other European feudal countries were afraid. That is why they were ready to suppress France under the leadership of England. They gave support to all other countries gave support to England. From that alliance, actually Napoleon seized the power of France. Even though Napoleon Bonaparte was also an autocratic ruler, he established or he instituted some reforms for France, and all that reforms were helpful for commons. Napoleon's reforms are given in your textbook, that is here itself. You must read all these reforms of Napoleon Bonaparte. Even though he was an autocratic ruler, he gave all facilities to the commons. But European alliance under the leadership of England, they were ready to attack Napoleon Bonaparte. They were against Napoleon because they afraid the freedom achieved by France through the slogan liberty, equality and fraternity. Through that slogan, they achieved their freedom, and other European countries afraid that this system will spread in other European countries. That is why they attacked Napoleon Bonaparte, and the war in Waterloo, Napoleon was attacked by this European alliance, and Napoleon's rule was stopped. And you can see another influences of French Revolution. Here is given the influences of French Revolution. Go through it. This is the results too. Influence of French Revolution and results of French Revolution are given here. Read this. And also here is given one more slogan. When France sneezes, other European countries catches cold. That was the system in that period. That was the influence of French Revolution. What changes happened in France? The changes must spread in other nations. And it was the end of a feudal system of government. Sovereignty was in the hands of the commons. That are the main influences of French Revolution, and it is also the results of French Revolution. And also written constitution, human rights were there. These are the main points based on French Revolution, and I think you clear it all. When we are discussing about French Revolution, we must know about the system existed in France. That was division of society. First estate, second estate, third estate. Then the leaders influenced for French Revolution and their ideologies, Rousseau, Voltaire and Montesquieu. And the main events, what happened, the circumstances, main events, tennis court oath, demolishing of Bastille prison, march of women, and the French Revolution ended with the alliances. These European alliances joined together and started to attack against France. There, Napoleon Bonaparte seized France, and the rule of France was become in the hands of Napoleon Bonaparte. Then Napoleon Bonaparte was defeated by European alliance in Waterloo. Then the influences of French Revolution, the results of French Revolution. It spread all over the world. the slogan liberty, equality, and fraternity spread all over the world. These are the main points based on French Revolution, and I think you can clear all your doubts with the help of this. Thank you.